In 2010, a New Mexico art dealer hid a treasure in the Rocky Mountains north of Santa Fe. Additional to the gold buried in that chest was something of a secret. He is even quoted as saying, "I can keep my secret where and hint of riches new and old." Well, what was that secret? That's what this video is designed to uncover, Forrest Fenn's secret. Wait, what? What are you doing?
Well, that was not planned. I kind of needed him for the rest of this investigation. I'm just going to have to improvise. Forrest Fenn was a pilot in the Vietnam War, and quotes in the book could have you believe Forrest Fenn was a bit bitter about the outcome of his time spent at war for the government. In his book, he said he received the Cross of Gallantry, and then...
Although it was not officially presented, I still value it and the appreciation that came with it.
But then he added,
"Never mind how important those things were to me at the time, they later added up to a big empty. Was there nothing better to show for that year away from my family and risking my life every day?"
Say what you will, but Forrest seems a little pissed off here. Flip the page. Read.
Instead of all those medals, I wish I could have been given a college degree in survival or at least an honorable mention for just having lasted it out.
But he doesn't get that honorable mention he desired. He wanted his name to be acknowledged. He continues on to say that. His sense of pride that he felt while serving in the Vietnam War has since seeped out of him. You might be wondering to yourself, what's your point man in his mom's basement? I'll tell you, Forrest Fenn had motive to do the thing I'm about to hint at. He wanted recognition. He wanted to be honored. The medals were great, but they weren't enough. He wanted more and didn't get that.
What do you want your legacy to be?
But to answer your question, I mean, there's going to be a legacy whether I like it or not. And until the treasure chest is found, my name is going to be an asterisk in the book that talks about that treasure chest. And you got to say that that's a legacy.
Forrest says that until the treasure is found, his legacy will be the hider of that treasure chest. He will be the creator of the hunt. However, Forrest says a little bit more in this interview. He mentions that once the olive jar is found, that is when he will become famous. Just listen.
I don't know whether you know it or not, but I've made a number of cast bronze jars and bells that I have buried in the desert and in the mountains. I've buried 8 of them, and I buried them so deep that a metal detector can't find them, and so remotely that I couldn't go back to them myself and find them. And
I would like to point out what a waste of time that was. How stupid. Hide something that nobody can find. Not even himself. Shake my head.
I can see one of those things being dug up 10,000 years from now when somebody's making a footing for a building or something, and they're going to screw off that jar and find my autobiography in there in a little olive jar, and find my autobiography in there in a little olive jar, and they're going to read that thing and say, "Good Lord, look at this guy 10,000 years ago, what he did." So I'm going to be famous.
Turn over. Okay.
So I'm going to be famous.
Turn over. Okay.
Look at his face. He is sure pleased with whatever it is he is talking about. He isn't talking about the treasure or treasure chest. Because if the chest is found, we will already know what he did. He said once the olive jar is found, he will be famous. The whole legacy he claimed to not care about. Let's go back to his time as a pilot in the war. He was shot down and had to eject. He got caught up in a tree. This man knew how to parachute. He knew how to eject from a plane. He knew the laws and procedures of military jets. I'll even bet he knew military protocol for intercepting a hijacked jet. He mentions the very little compensation he received for being in the military for 20 years. He didn't have much money. He even mentions in his book that he had to, quote, borrow money to start his art gallery. Resentful at government for little compensation. Was a pilot. Has already experienced having to jump from a plane. He needed money to start a living. And what's the best way to launder stolen money? That's right, art. Buy some art overseas. Well, they don't track United States bills. Get some art and start a gallery. I'm not saying Forrest Fenn was definitely D.B. Cooper, but the parts and pieces seem to line up.
Mr. Forrest Fenn. Now, at one point you said, and it's written on one of your bells, it doesn't matter who you are. It only matters who they think you are. So, Forrest, who are you, and who do people think you are?
I hope nobody ever finds out.